though, can we get an update on where that work is, if it is progressing at all?
Yep.
The investigative work that should have started. Thanks.
Okay, Marie, sorry.
Kia ora koutou. My name is Marie Byrne and I'm here to speak to my submission as a resident and a homeowner of Phillipstown. And I'll also declare that I too am a staff member and working in the Community Governance and Partnership, but I'm actually not speaking on anything that currently work in. Rather than going into all the points of my submission, I'm going to concentrate mainly on one issue, and that is for safe pedestrian crossings on Ferry Road in Phillipstown between Wilson's Road and Aldwyn's Road. This is the third consecutive year that I've spoken about traffic issues on this corridor, and particularly the strong need for safe pedestrian crossing points on this stretch of Ferry Road. Why? This is why. This is the aftermath of a fatal accident that I came across in 2019 where a pedestrian was killed trying to cross the stretch of road. There is a crossing point on each of the median strips that are on this stretch of road, which are placed to stop right-hand turns in Olivia's and Matheson's Road. They aren't specific pedestrian crossings, and they're not wide enough to hold a mother with a pram, a wheelchair or a mobility scooter. And there's no yellow handrails that you often see with pedestrian crossings. This is a busy stretch of road with people looking to cross between various amenities in the area. Bunn's Bakery, public toilets, pharmacies, doctor, Bronski's Dairy, second-hand shops. There's a social housing complex there as well as the bus stops. This area also has one of the lowest rates of vehicle ownership per household in the city at around 14%. Residents in this area are walking, biking to get around, and this means crossing Ferry Road at this busy stage. This area also sits high on the social deprivation scale. In essence, we're talking about some of our city's most vulnerable people. Our community desperately needs safe crossing points. I'm not the only person who's submitted in the past, and we've had a community board walk around last year where we were told that safety measures could be put in place within the current year. However, we're still no further on, and the budgeted spending on this has been pushed out. Originally budgeted to commence this year in the 22-23 plan, it's been pushed out to commence in 24-25, with completion in 26-27. I urge you to place a priority on completing this as soon as possible. This is a safety issue, and I totally understand that there are budget constraints, and if this was to be funded, then something else would have to be shifted and pushed out. I can give you a suggestion. Within the same transport access capital spend is an allocation for around $500,000, the same thing for part of the 6.5 million Cathedral Square amenity project. Why not delay that by a year to deliver safe crossing points on Ferry Road? Surely the safety of some of our most vulnerable residents should be rated as a much higher priority than making the square look pretty. We need you to be there to advocate for these most vulnerable residents. You won't see them submitting to annual plans, responding to surveys, because most are just trying to deal with the basics of living, making sure they have a roof over their head and food on the table for their family. They need others to be their voice, and that's why I'm here. I can be their voice as a fellow resident, and I will continue to be the voice. And I ask you to be their voice as well and make it a priority to let my fellow Phillipstonians cross Ferry Road safety. I've heard many communities say that if something's not done to improve an intersection, a crossing point or a road, that somebody could die. I'm not saying it here because it's already happened. An elderly gentleman died crossing this road. A family lost a father and a grandfather. A community lost its resident. Please stop this happening again to another family and our community again. We can't wait for 2027. Thank you.
Okay, we've got Tyler, then Jake.
I'll let Jake go first.
Okay, Jake, then
Thanks.
Tyler.
Oh, thanks for that, Marie. Look, we'll get some advice on whether we can actually swap the specific project you've named. My feeling is it probably doesn't pull from the transport resources in quite the same way, and it may not be able to be a direct swap. I remember at the time there were no easy choices when it came to that one. But if it's possible, we will absolutely look at it. I can't say we'll do it, but if it's possible, we will look at it, and I would be keen to do it.
Cool. Kia ora, Marie. My top 3 favourite staff members, by the way, Dawn. Just a quick question, of course. A quick question was around the improvements on Ferry Road. Is it minor safety improvements, or is it the road itself that needs a redesign?
Oh, there's a whole load of stuff there. Don't start me on it. But this is really for the pedestrian crossing points. The whole road needs work. It's part of the wider Ferry Road master plan, which has been pushed out and pushed out and pushed out. I understand that a lot of that work is tied up with, because of it's got a 4-laning designation. And if there's a possible to have that 4-laning designation, consultation on having it lifted, because I don't think that 4-laning is any longer appropriate, because that was set in place, I think from memory, back in about 2002, that 4-laning. And it doesn't make sense to go 4-lane at that stage when later on you go into a slow zone in Moulton Village at 30k. There's 4-laning a block or 2 away in both Linwood Ave and in Brougham Street. So, I just don't think, I think if you can lift that, but there's a whole load of stuff, but the pedestrian, we need somewhere to cross safely.
That's great to know. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you very much.
Quickly point out that Transport, on that very same subject of the 4-laning, are due to go and meet with the community in the next couple of months. So the
you.
organisation is aware of it.
Thank you very, very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Now, that brings us to the end of our annual plan hearings. Now, before we have the karakia, I'd just like to make a point of thanking Megan and Kathy and the whole team for what they've done, and ask that the minutes please note that our thanks for the hearings team and what they've done through the annual plan hearings with us. So can we please make that noted? Right, so now we'll have the ending karakia.
Kia whakairia te tapu, kia wātia ai te hara. Kia tūriki whakataha ai. Kia tūriki whakataha ai. Haumie, huie, tauki.
I declare the hearing closed.